Creativity can be defined in a lot of different ways. For me, creativity is the ability to look at an object, an activity, or a situation from many different perspectives, and being able to see or to produce alternative ways of understanding it, or a range of ideas for solving a problem, or finding possibilities to communicate more effectively. And this ability to see more possibilities, to see beyond the surface, to generate lots of ideas, is what gives you an edge as a teacher, because it means that you will never run out of innovative ideas and ways of doing something in the classroom. And so you will never get bored with your work, because every time you teach a language point, you will teach it slightly differently. And every time you organize a classroom activity, you will tweak it a little bit. And this also means that you will be better able to adapt to students' needs, and that your teaching will be much more focused on the students that you teach, the individual human beings who are your students, rather than on the material that you want to cover. In addition, the fact that you have teaching objectives will never mean that you forget about learning outcomes. Creativity can affect the way you teach as much or as little as you choose it to affect your teaching. I believe that the wider you open the door to creativity in its different forms in your teaching, the more your students will enjoy and benefit from your teaching, and the more you will enjoy the work that you do. One of the most important things when we talk about creativity is understanding that it is not restricted to some people or some activities only. This means that both you and your students can be creative, and that creativity can simply become part of the fabric of what you do in the classroom. I think it's also extremely important to understand why you are doing a particular activity. And this is because once you know the founding principle, you can actually create variations. And this helps maintain both your motivation and the motivation of your students. I would also encourage you to listen to your students, to hear their ideas and appreciate their input into the lesson. If you create an environment in which creativity is noticed and valued, you will see that the level of inventiveness in you and in your students will just keep growing. Also, encourage creativity by doing activities which foster it. For example, activities which involve creating free associations or brainstorming, or activities which are based on works of art. And last, but certainly not least, make sure that you express your appreciation for every kind of creativity. It's hard to disagree with Ken Robinson about the fact that schools kill creativity. It's enough to just look at research, which shows very clearly the fall in terms of level of creativity right after kids start school. And this cannot be a coincidence. There is a whole host of reasons for this, but in many educational systems in the world, there's a very strong focus on standardized testing. And this means the focus on the syllabus rather than on the people you teach, and a focus on quantifiable results. And yet we know that learning is not so easily quantifiable. In addition, teachers often feel harshly judged in their work. On top of it, they may be suffering from insecurity, which is caused by, for example, lack of experience, or bad experience with certain types of courses, or with certain age groups. And all this causes creativity to die a natural death. And it seems to me that the school today is a large-scale machine whose aim is not entirely clear, given the challenges of the modern world. Creativity is what every one of us needs to be able to face these challenges. But until schools become places where these challenges are recognized and their importance acknowledged, it will be increasingly difficult to promote creativity as an essential part of preparing young people for the world outside the classroom.